Imagine being offered more than $1 million a year to guard this lighthouse that almost anyone would accept without thinking twice. There would be no boss looking over your shoulder, no traffic, no office, no meetings, no deadlines. You would spend your days completely alone, surrounded by nothing but the endless ocean. You could sleep whenever you wanted, read books, fish from the rocks below, or simply sit back and enjoy the sound of crashing waves. Your entire job would come down to one simple task. Make sure the lighthouse never goes dark. If the light ever stops shining, climb to the top, fix the problem, and turn it back on. That's it. It sounds almost too good to be true, but here's what makes this job so terrifying. Many of these lighthouses stand on tiny rocks far from the mainland, completely surrounded by open water. Once supplies are delivered and the boat leaves, you're often completely isolated for weeks, or sometimes even longer. No neighbors, no nearby towns, no quick rescue if something goes wrong. Just you and the ocean. At first, the silence might feel peaceful, but after days, then weeks, that same silence can become overwhelming. The isolation begins to affect your mind. Every wave sounds louder, every storm feels stronger, and every night seems darker than the last. Then come the storms. The ocean transforms into something almost unimaginable. Towering waves slam against the lighthouse with incredible force. Winds howl at hurricane speed, shaking the entire structure. In the most violent storms, seawater can surge high enough to wash over parts of the tower itself. For lighthouse keepers, these weren't just dramatic moments, they were life or death situations. Throughout history, some keepers lost their lives while trying to keep the light burning during extreme weather. So why would anyone build a lighthouse in such a dangerous place? Why not simply avoid those areas altogether? Why does that single beam of light matter so much? To answer those questions, we have to travel back more than 2,000 years. Long before highways, airplanes, railroads, or GPS, the world's greatest transportation network wasn't on land. It was the sea. For thousands of years, nearly every civilization depended on ships for trade, exploration, and communication. Merchant vessels carried food, spices, silk, gold, and countless other valuable goods across enormous distances. But sailing in the ancient world came with enormous risks. Captains had no satellites, no radar, no electronic navigation systems, not even reliable maps of the ocean floor. Instead, sailors navigated by watching the position of the sun during the day and the stars at night. As long as the sky remained clear, experienced navigators could usually stay on course. But nature rarely cooperated. A single storm could erase every point of reference. Dark clouds would cover the sky, the stars disappeared, the coastline vanished into the darkness, and suddenly, sailors had no idea where they were. Ships drifted through the open sea for days, sometimes much longer. Fresh drinking water began to run out. Food supplies became dangerously low. Exhaustion and fear spread throughout the crew. Even when sailors managed to avoid getting lost, another deadly threat waited beneath the surface: hidden rocks. These underwater formations were almost impossible to detect before it was too late. Since ancient ships were built mostly from wood, even one collision could tear open the hull, flooding the vessel within minutes. Many ships and the people aboard them never made it home. As maritime trade expanded, these disasters became increasingly common. Civilizations desperately needed a way to warn sailors before they reached dangerous coastlines. They needed something that could be seen from miles away, day or night, in calm seas or raging storms. That need would eventually inspire one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world, a structure whose influence would shape maritime navigation for more than 2,000 years. The world's first great lighthouse. The birth of the world's first great lighthouse. Our story takes us back more than 2,200 years to ancient Egypt. Along the Mediterranean coast stood one of the greatest cities of the ancient world, Alexandria. Founded by Alexander the Great, it quickly became a thriving center of trade, attracting merchant ships from across the Mediterranean. But reaching the city was incredibly dangerous. Just beneath the surface, hidden rock formations surrounded parts of the harbor. During the day, experienced sailors could sometimes avoid them. At At night, however, those same rocks became nearly invisible. One wrong turn was all it took. A wooden ship could strike the rocks, split open within moments, and sink along with its crew and valuable cargo. As these accidents became more frequent, merchants began avoiding Alexandria, threatening the economy of one of the world's most important trading cities. The ruler of Egypt knew something had to change. Historical records tell us that during the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus, an extraordinary solution was proposed. Instead of trying to remove the dangerous rocks, they would build a tower so tall and so bright that every ship approaching the harbor could see it from miles away. To make that vision a reality, the king commissioned the Greek architect Sostratus of Cnidus. His challenge was unlike anything attempted before. Design a structure strong enough to withstand the Mediterranean's harsh weather, yet tall enough to become a permanent beacon for sailors navigating through darkness. After years of construction, the result was breathtaking. The tower rose to approximately 384 feet, or 117 meters, making it one of the tallest structures in the ancient world. At its summit, a massive fire burned continuously. Workers carried wood and fuel up hundreds of steps every day to ensure the flame never went out. Some historical accounts also describe a large polished bronze mirror that reflected the fire's light, allowing it to be seen from remarkable distances across the sea. For sailors, that light meant far more than the sight of land. It marked the entrance to a safe harbor. It warned them where danger lay hidden beneath the waves, and for countless voyages, it became the difference between reaching home safely or never returning at all. The structure became known as the Lighthouse of Alexandria, or simply Pharos. Its remarkable engineering and life-saving purpose earned it a place among the legendary 7 wonders of the ancient world. But constructing the lighthouse was only the first challenge. Keeping its light burning, night after night, year after year, would become one of the loneliest and most demanding jobs in human history. The loneliest job on Earth, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, changed the course of maritime history. Its success inspired civilizations across the world to build their own lighthouses along dangerous coastlines, rocky islands, and narrow shipping channels. Wherever ships faced danger, a lighthouse soon followed. But every lighthouse shared one important problem. Someone had to keep the light burning. Long before electricity, that responsibility belonged to the lighthouse keeper. Every evening before sunset, the keeper climbed hundreds of steps to the top of the tower carrying fuel. Once there, they lit the lamp, checked the flame, cleaned the glass, and made sure the light could be seen for miles across the sea. Their work didn't end there. Throughout the night, they had to monitor the light constantly. If the flame grew weak, they added more fuel. If smoke or salt covered the glass, they cleaned it immediately. Every detail mattered, because if the light disappeared, even for a few minutes, a ship sailing through darkness could crash into hidden rocks. The lives of hundreds of sailors often depended on one person doing their job perfectly. Yet the greatest challenge wasn't the responsibility, it was the isolation. Many lighthouses stood on tiny rocky outcrops miles away from the mainland. Once the supply boat departed, the keeper could spend weeks or even months without seeing another person. No crowded streets, no family gatherings, no conversations, just endless waves stretching to the horizon. Some lighthouse keepers found peace in the solitude. Others struggled with the silence. Many kept journals, read the same books repeatedly, or simply watched passing ships to break the monotony of another lonely day. But no matter how isolated they felt, they understood the importance of their work. Every ship that reached port safely, every crew that returned home, every family reunited after a long voyage, owed something to the unseen person keeping that light alive. It was a quiet job, a lonely job, but one that saved countless lives. And then came the storms, the true test that separated ordinary people from extraordinary lighthouse keepers. When the ocean fights back, life as a lighthouse keeper is already difficult. But everything changed when a powerful storm arrived. The calm sea would suddenly turn violent. Dark clouds covered the sky. Fierce winds howled across the ocean, and enormous waves crashed into the lighthouse with unbelievable force. For the keeper inside, escape wasn't an option. There were no rescue helicopters, no emergency boats, no one coming to help. All they could do was stay inside the tower and keep the light burning. With every wave, the entire lighthouse shook. Some storms were so powerful that seawater surged high enough to strike the lantern room near the top of the tower. Imagine standing inside a building while thousands of tons of water slammed into it over and over again. Every impact felt like an earthquake. Yet even in those terrifying conditions, the keeper still had a job to do. If the light went out, burnt-out ships navigating through darkness could lose their only guide to safety. History records several lighthouse keepers who lost their lives while protecting these beacons. Their dedication turned lighthouse keepers into quiet heroes, people whose names were rarely known, but whose work saved countless lives. As the centuries passed, technology transformed the profession. Open flames gave way to brighter lamps. Powerful Fresnel lenses projected light far across the sea. Eventually, electricity and automated systems replaced most human lighthouse keepers altogether. Today, many of the world's historic lighthouses operate automatically, but the legacy of the keepers lives on. For generations, they stood alone at the edge of the world, facing storms, isolation, and constant danger so that complete strangers could make it home safely. The next time you see a lighthouse standing against the crashing waves, remember, it isn't just a beautiful landmark. It's a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and one of the most extraordinary jobs in human history.